probably won't.
Okay.
So.
Clear as a bell.
Clear as a bell.
Okay, I hear myself.
And then if you need me to turn down your headphones, I can do that too. So.
No, they sound fine.
All right, cool.
Okay.
It's gonna take a little bit adjusting, but then we'll be good.
Actually, I can also see. I'll probably see over there.
Okay,
too.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Then
Either one works. So.
tempted to do this and go.
There's a few times that I make a point to go. I look them off because there's a bunch of the modes you can do. I will show you what I meant by the. All right, go ahead and start it, then go to a trailer. So.
Ha ha. Hey hey. Ha 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 ha. Come take a stroll with Nick down the road with storyboard and tales untold from the highs to the low. Get in tune that we go 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 'cause he's your guy. He's by your side. Hidden topics that's worldwide. So let's take a ride and make some noise. Buy you some merch for you to enjoy. Get the word from anything and everything with Nick Steinberger. Let's go.
Welcome to Anything and Everything Season 2, Episode 7. Woo! Yeah, baby! Woo! Yeah! Welcome back. I'm your host, Nick Steinberger. Welcome to the Anything and Everything with Nick Steinberger, Season 2, Episode 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7. Episode 7. Today, we have a very special guest. We have the one and the only Darryl Clark. Yeah! Woo! Yeah, baby! For those of you who don't know, Darryl Clark is my professor. He's been mine for, 3 years now? Well, about to be 3 years because I'm about to be a junior.
Yeah, 3 years.
And then I've known you since 2019. Does that sound correct?
2019.
2019, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because you scouted. Are you a scout? What were you for?
I wasn't a scout. I was working for this organization, or actually not working, volunteering for a really cool organization that comes out of Chicago. It's the Broadway in Chicago. And what they do is they have this educational component, the Illinois High School Theater Musical, the Illinois High School Musical Theater Association.
I believe you.
Yeah, those acronyms. And the organization sends out people to adjudicate high school and junior high productions that they're doing. And so in March of 2019, we had announced our season for McLeod Summer Playhouse for that summer. And
I'm going to pause you real quick and fix the mic because I'm hearing. I don't think I did anything. Hang on.
Okay.
Hold on, team. Pause. Waiting music. All right. You're good now.
All right. So we had announced our season. Our season that year was The Full Monty and Gypsy and a show for young audiences right now that escapes me. It's not important to the story. Anyhow, we had started to do auditions for young performers, and we were coming up very, very short. And so I adjudicated for IHS, blah, blah, blah. And I went to see Joseph at West Frankfort High, and I looked on the stage, and I was about 3 people, and I went, okay, I know I'm not supposed to do this, but I had a business card or 2 on me, and I slipped one to the principal, and I said, please have this kid's mom get in touch with Tom Kidd, because we really need kids. We really, really need kids. And that's how that happened.
Shout out Shannon Steinberger for Darryl Clark giving the card. No, I remember. I don't remember a lot from then because I was I think I was like 14, 13. I don't
Yeah.
remember. I was going into my freshman year.
He was a tiny.
I was a
14,
tiny
by the way.
boy. I was
A
down.
little thing.
The one thing I do remember from the experience was the first informative meeting, like meeting everyone. And Tom, the late Tom Kidd, he said, and this is Nick. He's the oldest of them, and all the college kids go. What? I think that's the one. I also remember spilling the popcorn. I remember spilling a thing of popcorn. I don't remember when and where.
That is going to live with you for the rest of your life. When did that happen? It must have happened during the run.
I think it happened the week that Sam was missing. Like she was out for a week.
Oh,
instead of
right.
understudy.
Yeah.
And so the understudy brought a thing of popcorn. And I think I got a little too excited and I poured it.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran into the bathroom while rehearsal and I felt really bad, but.
Okay,
Oh, well.
yeah, I missed all that.
I only remember whenever it gets brought up. I don't remember it any times, but I think that's valid. I think that's fair.
Yeah,
But no, that was my first. Gypsy was my first, because I played a
Newsboy.
newsboy.
Yes.
I didn't know if they had another name or if it was just newsboy.
No, it's just Newsboy.
I remember I went ba ba ba. But that was my first like professional theater because I only did my school show. I didn't even do community theater. And then 4 years later, here I am.
Yeah.
Here I am.
It was a fast few years, yeah.
And the world had a little break in between there at some point.
Yeah.
That was over 5 years ago.
I know.
That's bonkers.
It is. And just to think that, look, 3 years after that, you came up to me at a performance of the SIDC, and we're all excited about auditioning for school. Yeah. And I was like, well, okay, all right.
Well, all right then.
Yeah. And then I had to go like this, literally. In my mind, I went, he's grown a little.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
You had a who's kid? Who's he talking
No,
about?
it wasn't that.
Oh,
It
wasn't?
really, no, it wasn't. I just literally was like, yeah, fantastic. And then in my brain, I was going,
Wait, he's
really,
tall.
he's taller. Good. This
puberty-
is good.
puberty
Yay,
hit him.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Okay.
I remember my favorite part of puberty. Now, this conversation could go two separate ways.
Okay.
But it was whenever my mom, it was my senior year, my first homie of cross country, and she said, "Damn, Nick, you grew." I said, "Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it. Thanks, dog." But no, how was that like with COVID? Working as in theater and then teaching theater alone.
Oh, I was a wreck. I didn't like it. I didn't like one single moment of it. Having to teach dance classes in a mask.
Oh.
I mean, that thing came off my face after 5 minutes because I mean, I literally felt like one of those villains out of the Star Wars Enterprise. Trying to scream over music. It was ridiculous. I was like, no, that's not cool. And I cursed the whole thing every bloody day. Finally, we got the opportunity to get vaccinated, which was cool.
Yeah.
But, they kept saying, well, this vaccine does this and blah, 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 blah. And I was like, fine, whatever. Just let's get
Let me take a mask off.
Yeah, I just got to get this off my damn face. So anyways, I went ahead and got the shot. And I was cool the day I got the shot. And as a matter of fact, that night I went to a gallery thing at the art gallery, the campus art gallery.
Yeah.
And then I went and hung out with friends, and I was like, the next day, let's go see that new movie Last Night in Soho. Mm-hmm. At about 11 a.m. Saturday morning, it was like, pew, I slept for 14 hours, and I was like, I guess we're not going to see a movie.
See, my mom's kind of a skeptic. She is, but she isn't. She'll be a skeptic for some things and won't care for others. COVID-19 vaccination was the one skeptic thing for her.
That's interesting.
And she'll have her periods. Like she's not a conspiracy theorist in the least. But that was one thing she was like, nah, I don't want anyone to get it. I was like, okay. But I think what it was the side effect of everyone crashing after they get like full on naps. I think that was it for her. But did you with I obviously I didn't get the vaccine. I wasn't in college at that point. So whenever you taught the dance classes, did the students also have to keep the mask off? They didn't have the
No,
vax,
they had to keep them on as well. And that was it. The first semester coming back from the isolation and all that, that was fall 20, and they had to keep their masks on.
Yeah.
End of discussion. And
even if they have the shot?
Yeah. Even if and then we had this one scare. I was about to teach the beginning tap dance class. I don't remember if it was a Tuesday or a Thursday, but I got a message like 45 minutes before class. So and so may have been exposed, and I'm thinking, well, holy. I don't know. Where can we go with this? PG, PG-14.
Cuss however much you want.
Fantastic.
Fuck shit, bitch.
Great. Now I'm all relaxed now. All right. So I was like, holy fuck. That was so I had to regroup in my head and get my phone mounted on this thing, and it kept falling down and had to pick it back up again. And I'm just like, geez, this is not fun.
Yeah.
And also, I'm just thinking, how do I deal with watching students? Are they getting in? And then I did ballet class like that too, right afterwards. And there I was, like, isolated all to myself in Outguild 116 teaching these classes. And I guess they got
through
something.
Zoom?
Yeah, that was a nightmare.
Because that was the period where because the fall of 20 was when there was the first time that you were actually able to actually do stuff.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, in school, for high school at least, I mean, I couldn't imagine college, but for high school, if one person was almost exposed, that classroom, every single person, all their classes they were in canceled. So basically the whole school was shut down.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just back to back to back to back.
Yeah. And it was just out like flies. But that was like that was like a strange year for me anyways, because that was when they finally figured out what was going on with my body. When I was choreographing Gypsy, I mean, there were days where I was like, I don't know what's going on with my lower back. I was in physical therapy like twice a week. And then I went and I did this show in Springfield, Missouri, really neat play called Race by David Mamet. And I played a lawyer, and I wore wingtip shoes, and I had to tie my shoes.
So for the viewers that don't know what wingtip shoes are, for the viewers.
Okay.
Well, how would you
Wingtip
describe
shoes
them?
are those shoes that they're Oxford style, and they've got the wings on either sides of the laces, and they've got the holes all over them. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And so I had to, tie my shoes after I completed like my corporate drag, and I could not tie my shoes. I mean, I was just in that much agony.
Yeah.
So I came back that semester, and I remember going to see the people over at the Orthopedic Institute. That's a shout out to the Orthopedic Institute.
That's what helped me with my tibia. So shout out them.
Yeah. See, and so I went over there, and the surgeon's assistant was like, "Honey, you need a hip replacement." I was like, "Good, sign me up." I was like, "I'm done. I really can't take this anymore." So it was just like having that extra pressure of trying to stay well the whole time and getting tested kind of constantly to make sure that I was still well, and then to be told that my date would be postponed because my surgery date was December 30th. Just imagine being like a couple of days before New Year's. Like, talk about that, right?
Yeah.
So but they told me, we're not doing this because we don't have enough beds at SIH, so we don't know what to do with you. And I was like, look, send me up to Chicago. I want this done. This has got to get done.
Yeah.
I've done everything I need to do. I've made it to the end of the semester. Don't ask me how. I made sure I didn't have the COVID cooties. I've done my thing. It's really
time
not
to go.
right. It's time to get this cut out of me and put the new one in, and whatever.
Yeah.
And so they were honestly like, no, there's really nothing we can do. And so they did finally come up with a solution. They did it as an outpatient procedure. And so, a friend of mine flew in from Washington to help me out. Hey, Terry. Hopefully you'll get to watch this. And she was so helpful.
Terry.
She even put up with the fact that I like to have like certain times of the day where I slip off into my own little world and watch television. But she took me to therapy. She made sure that I took my drugs. She even said, the doctor said, don't be a rock star. If you're in pain, take the drugs. And I was like, honestly, no, I don't think I need them.
Take the damn drugs.
Yeah, but no, I still didn't. As a matter of fact, when my other friend came down from Evanston, her name is Annette, and Annette, hey, Annette.
Hey, Annette.
She came down and stayed with me for a week. We wound up taking a lot of those drugs back to the dispensary and throwing them into the thing at Walgreens because I just didn't want to take them. And therapy was a lot more breezy than people thought that it would be. So that was the other way I got through. And then I got my second shot in April of 2021.
So when was your surgery actually? Was it December?
It was in February.
Oh.
February 18th. I'll never forget it.
That's my brother's birthday.
There was a blizzard that day. it snowed. I was like,
Yeah.
we are going to this clinic. You're cutting this motherfucker out
Yeah.
of me. I don't want this thing in me anymore.
So how long was the recovery time for a hip replacement?
Well, for most people,
Oh, here
they
we
say
go.
you're out for the rest of the semester. But for special people like me, no, I'm afraid I wasn't able to do that. You see, I think that by the middle of March, I made sure to get any choreography I was doing for that senior showcase like totally done.
Yeah.
And I got it all done before I like had to think about the recuperation process. And a woman who was getting her vocal performance masters, Alexis Turner, another shout out, hey. She was taking care of my classes and teaching for me and whatnot. But there was a time where she had to move on because it was time for her to go.
Yeah.
And so she, left and stuff. And the day before she left, I came in and I watched my dance, and believe it or not, that was one of the few times I had to say to students, okay, what y'all just did is not going to fly. I never, ever say that. People like to make up shit about me. But I said that to them because I was like, no, that's not going to work. And then I came back in and like there would be a student that would run warm-ups for me, but I would still like be coaching and directing, sitting in a chair. And then around the first week of April, I had to finish up teaching a beginning modern technique class. I didn't have any choice. There was no one else to teach it.
So it was really like for you, it was bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
COVID, a hip replacement, vaccine.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep. And I mean, it's like I survived. It's like a lot of people, I'm sorry for those that lost battles or lost family members that lost the battle. But no, I managed to push on through and persevere.
Yep.
So I'm very grateful for all the doctors that I had on my side. And for the shots that we were able to take in order to make sure we stayed healthy.
It was really, COVID was really like, it felt like it happened. Then like a year later, it felt like, oh, okay.
Well, that...
At least for me, because I mean, I was a freshman in high school, so like I didn't really have a care in the world, but...
Well, this is only opinion, and I think that when you go through something like that, you go, okay, everything's back to normal, but you still are having all kinds of shock effects. I'm sure that there are things that one goes, man, this could be taken away at any given moment, and we could be like locked back down in our houses again. There's all kinds of stuff that's going on in your mind. It's like you're still living in this thing where I forget the psychological term for it, but there's all kinds of stress damage that go on after something like that. It was not easy.
Like for me, like I would hate to, like, I'm fine when it happened, but if I could choose like whenever it happened, I would choose my junior year. Because well, here's why.
I would like to be shut up in the house my junior year.
Hear me out.
Okay,
because
go
my
on.
freshman year, that was before I hit puberty, so my voice was still high pitched and I was a lot less mature, so I didn't have a lot of friends. So I was at home. I think I got over 80 hours of Nintendo Switch per week. I was on it, and so if I could pick, I would have picked my junior year.
Okay,
because that's when I hit puberty. By then, I could drive my car. By then, I could actually go do stuff, hang out with friends without care, with no school.
Right? Yeah.
I wouldn't choose college though. I would
No.
not choose college because I mean I feel like that was I wasn't there, but I feel like that was a nightmare trying to deal with. Okay, my class is being refunded or they're not. All that.
Yeah, and you do deal with that. But
So when would you pick, huh?
No, if I had to live it all over again, I wouldn't live it all over again. I wouldn't say like, gee, this would be the perfect time to go through this, because I don't think there is a perfect time to go through a lot of those calamities that we all went through.
Yeah.
I mean, the in addition to coming out with like this, Titanic thing or titanium thing, titanium thing on the left side of my body that sets off alarms at the airport and whatnot.
Yeah.
The other thing I did is I taught myself how to crochet. I also watched my butt and thigh spread. I mean, a whole bunch of stuff happened during that time. So, I'm actually okay without having to go without anything like that again.
So with COVID and being a professor.
Yeah.
So was being a professor at SIU different than other professors you knew, or was it kind of all the same? We're all like, okay,
no. It was pretty much the same. Now, there were schools that had more resources at their disposal and were able to outfit the dance studios virtually or outfit them with microphones that you could be heard while you had your face mask on. Not trying to say anything, not trying to point any fingers or anything like that, but everybody knows that every school I've ever taught at, I like to do this one thing, and I probably shouldn't do it. But I like to say, here at SIU, we's po.
Yeah.
Not just any old kind of po. but we can't afford spit and sweat kind of po.
I remember my freshman year. It was like the third dance class I had with you,
Did I say that?
and you said that exact same thing. You said the whole here. That's like you did the whole spiel, but I think it was different wording, but it's pretty much the same thing. We're poor.
Yeah. Well,
But hey, we did just get a brand new renovation. We just got announced for it, so that would be nice.
yeah, that will be very nice.
How much is it for again? Do you remember?
There is $28 million that has been earmarked to take care of the process, and I know everybody is like, just that much excited at least, or this much excited. I am simply like great. I'm looking forward to the seats that may change. I'm looking forward to the access that may change in McLeod Theater.
For those of you that don't know, for those of you who have not been to McLeod Theater, first off, what are you doing? Second off,
come see some shows. Damn it!
damn it! But the seats are an ugly blue, red, yellow, and like orange. It's a random combination from like the 40s, 60s.
The building, the groundstone was laid, and the cornerstone was laid in 1964.
Yeah.
So I'm a year older than the Com building.
And they're still the same seats, right?
I think so. Yeah.
If not, they're still old, and there's ugly tone. And McLeod, you have three main entrances for people, and then one extra one that you don't really use. You have the two back here behind the back of the house. Then you have one on house right.
Yeah.
And the one on the house right, you have to go upstairs. You're there. But then if you go in the back, you have to go upstairs. Just go back downstairs. It's so stupid.
Yeah,
and I hate it.
It was not designed with people who need to have wheelchair access or canes or
and
crutches.
there's only one exit that really lets them do that,
Yeah.
because you have the other one, but you have to go through like a hallway behind stage.
You do.
Yeah. But and so from what I've seen from the renovations, it's going to be pretty nice. 2 new bathrooms.
Yeah.
That's what I'm excited about.
Yeah.
But because they're building.
Nick, why are you so excited about bathrooms?
Because there's always a line. Oh my gosh. Whatever. Whatever, dude.
Hey, you set yourself up for that one.
Dude, so whenever I do videos for my YouTube channel, and I have to go to a bathroom, I always comment on the bathroom, because the bathroom to me is the sacred ground. That's where you do your business. That's where you breathe. It's your moment. It's yourself. And I'm a bathroom judger. Anytime I go to a restaurant, I see how clean it is. I'm a bathroom judger, hardly.
Okay. Well,
Hard. And so I'm excited for the new bathrooms, because the ones we got in the comms building by the theater department are old. They're all graffitied. They're all.
There is that.
I'm like, it takes 2 seconds to get a paint roller. Why can't get the scene shop? Get them on it.
Now, just to speak out for anything else as far as that's concerned, there are a couple of other bathrooms that are a little bit a ways away from the theater, but they're still close-ish.
Yeah, they're still close.
I mean, that's the ones that I choose to use, and those are to the east of our main office.
When we did Urinetown and they had us be bathroom guards, half the people just skipped us and went to the other ones. Like, we saw them walk away, and so we ran out of coins after like the first weekend, because people would just take them and not pay. But because we're building, because you have the McLeod Theater here, then you have the box office, the Christian H. Mo here. They're building another Mo Theater, right?
Yes,
They're building
they are.
another box. Yeah.
And then the Mo that is there now will still probably have the sign over the door, but it'll become a classroom.
Yeah. Well, so are they going to rename the new one, or are they going to?
Oh, they probably will. And if they don't,
I think they should name it the Steinberger Theater. Personally, in my opinion, but because we're getting brand new dressing room. That's one thing I'm really
dressing rooms, the costume facilities are going to be spanking new,
and you don't have to go up and down stairs constantly.
Yeah.
So there's a lot. Now it will take a few years, right? 3 years.
Yeah.
So
until it's totally done.
Yeah, and because are we going to be able to use any of it? Do you think until it's done?
I don't know. I mean, I'm just basically like get in there, do the work that you need to do done.
Because I mean, you're building a whole new theater. You're basically building another whole new theater, renovating McLeod. Because aren't we getting new equipment too?
I hope so.
Yeah.
The other thing is that there's a space underneath the McLeod stage. I still refer to it as the dungeon.
Yeah.
Now, we were trying to change the culture on that and start calling it
the festival studio.
The festival studio.
It's the dungeon. It looks like a dungeon.
It looks like a dungeon. It smells like a dungeon. It sweats your ass like a dungeon. It's a dungeon. And after having rehearsed enough shows down there, right?
Yeah.
It's like I've made a little boy aware of how delicious tacos can be, as long as they don't have like spicy salsa on them.
Yeah.
I have directed a new play down there by Cameron Noel. I mean, a lot of stuff was rehearsed down in that space. I rehearsed the dance sequence for one of the operas that was done by Opera Theater when they did Amal and the Night Visitor. In 2023, I rehearsed that little dance thing that Amiria and Katie and Amelia and Colis Rocca did. I rehearsed it down in the dungeon.
But there's like, so you have the McLeod Theater, you have the stage, and then there's like 8 spots for trapdoors. There's a bunch of spots that have trapdoors.
Yeah.
We went through one for Hella Dolly.
Right.
And me and Donnie Elkins, shout out Donnie. And so there's a bunch of space under there, and aren't they getting a new pit too?
I think so. Yeah, the hydraulics need to be fixed.
Because right now I think it's water hydraulics now, which
right. Yeah.
But I'm excited for that. I'm just excited because I didn't grow up in that theater, but I've done a theater a lot longer than a lot of the students currently there.
Right.
So for me, it's special because it's like, oh,
right,
cool. Like school and what I grew up doing.
Yeah.
And
I was gonna say I do hope that when the theater is rolled out, there's lots of opportunities to reach out to alums throughout the decades to come and see it, and maybe even invite those who might still be in the business to come down and like be in a show or something like that. I'm throwing this out into the heavens. I'm like willing this into existence because in my dream world, when McLeod Summer Playhouse does start to come back, I think that one way it should come back is by featuring our alums.
Doing an alumni show,
Yeah, I mean, it's like if not a full alumni cast, at least have alumni in featured and principal roles.
Because I know for like the marketing side of theater, because I'm one of the people that run the social medias for theater and dance at SIU, and I want to do like a goodbye tour where you can just get a camera and record every inch of the space. Just
Well, of course
that
needs to be done. I mean, that would be done. It can be done in a fun way because we are good time people.
Yeah.
But the reason why it needs to be done is because that would be archival things, that would be footage that would be put into into some kind of time capsule in Morris Library so that people can see this is what this did look like. And those seats that Nick finds so reprehensible.
They're so the padding is like this thin. It is like this thick now because of, actually go to camera 3, Max. We're gonna show you from here. The padding is like this thick because of how much it's been sat on over 60 years. It's over 60 years old. That's too much. Sorry, Darryl. No offense to you.
No, that's quite all right.
But those seats need to be long gone. They're done for.
Yeah.
And they're a stupid color. Make them the school's color. Make it one solid color. I don't need no fancy smancy shit.
Well, the only thing that you're doing right now is that if there are alums that are listening to this or will listen to it, you better hope that there's those who have the kind of money and for sentimental reasons want to have one of those seats in their house somewhere or on their porch or underneath their backyard awning or something that they'll buy one of those seats.
I'll put one in here. I'll plop one in here.
Right.
And I will never let a guest sit on it. So
right, the commemorative seat.
Yeah. But no, I'm excited. So whenever you became a professor at SAU, how can you remember that long ago?
No, I don't think I can reach back into the recesses of my memory for 9 years. Well, it was 2016, and I had just done, it's a funny number, 9 years at Missouri State University, which is in the Ozarks in Springfield, Missouri. And I came over here, and it was very interesting coming here. I had been offered a job by a school down in Valdosta, Georgia, and I'd been offered that job, and I was just kind of like, I don't know. And it was sort of a neck and neck thing. I was interviewed by Tom Kidd, who we just mentioned, and Tim Fink in April. And as a matter of fact, I was working on a production of Hair at the time. And so I had to rush off to rehearsal and deal with that. So we talked for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes on some kind of like pre-Zoom situation. Yeah. And then I didn't hear anything. And I got this interview for the school in Georgia. And then they sent for me. I went down to Georgia and I did the do, and then I came back up, and I was kind of like left with this really weird inert feeling. I was like, I don't know, that just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. And then on top of it, Prince had to haul off and die that weekend. I'm just like, this is something does not feel right about this thing. And so I was like, looking at my messages, checking my emails. I'm like, where's SIU? Where are they? Why aren't they calling me? And then we did a dance concert that weekend that I actually came back and caught up with that process. Like dances were being lit and I like kind of bounced back into the whole thing. And I'm like, I'm back now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, you know, this is cool and fine and dandy, but I really want to hear from this school if something's going on here with this job. And I sent Tim and Tom a link to one of the pieces that I had choreographed and said, I thought you might want to check this out. Hope you're still thinking about me. I'm still thinking about the school. And then I got this opportunity to come in for that second interview, which was done the week of finals. So yeah.
Oh, that's a rough week too.
I know. And it was crazy. And the night before the interview, they decided that they were going to fly me from Springfield to St. Louis, and then this personal transportation.
Oh, so they flew you for your interview?
Yeah, they flew me in.
Dope.
Well, I mean, it's a thing. Usually, there are many schools, like in the California state school system, if they have you come in for that second interview, you have to pay for that out of your pocket.
Oh.
And I almost got interviewed for a school in Orange County, and I was like, I don't even know if I can pay for this interview, because I was like, fly to Orange County from Springfield, Missouri. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So yeah, that probably would not have happened. And actually, I think I declined the second interview because I couldn't afford to pay for the flight. So
so that's common, like, so schools still fly you out to?
When you are on the short list, because usually they'll have 3 candidates, and wherever they're coming from, they will get you to campus and they'll show you around campus, and you get to meet the provost, the dean. Sometimes you might even get to meet the chancellor of the university or the college that you're interviewing for. Then you get to meet the faculty. You get to meet students.
So they give you the grand tour.
Yeah, you get the total Megillah. And I'm sure that those of you who know that we've been in the process of filling new positions, you've met people, and you know,
because I know HD, who's no longer director of theater here. He I feel like at the end of the year, like every week I get an email saying, "Hey, meet in the conference room this day to talk to our maybe possible faculty."
Exactly. And so, anyways, I mean, this was also pre-COVID, so it was come on campus. So so anyways, my stepmom, she's really a great lady. Hi, Vicky.
Hi, Vicky.
She's so funny. I told her that I had planned on wearing this really kind of funky, eclectic outfit for my interview. I had this really cool red blazer, and I was going to invest in a shirt that would have went with it, that would have been another pop of color, and some really striking pants and some penny loafers. I mean, it was like just a business cash, but really funky. She's like, you will not dress that way for that interview. You will wear a suit and a tie. And I was like, all right, I'll wear a suit and a tie.
How old were you at that moment?
I know, I felt like I was all of 7. So anyway, anyways, I went on ahead and I packed the suit and everything, and we were talking back and forth, on the old cell phoneage. And I was like, I'm on my way to the airport now. Everything's cool and fine and dandy. I get to the airport and the flight is delayed because there are major rainstorms, because the flight is janky as all get out.
Yeah.
Flying from Springfield up to Chicago and down to St. Louis.
Oh.
Yeah. So this part up here at O'Hare, major rainstorms, and they just weren't going to fly anybody up there. So I didn't leave that airport in Missouri for almost 4 hours. Finally get up there, it's raining even harder. Get down to St. Louis, it's raining even harder down there. And then we had to drive in this BART thing from St. Louis to Carbondale.
And pouring, pissing rain.
And so I left my little house in Springfield at about 4 in the afternoon and did not get to the hotel where I was supposed to stay until 2 in the morning. And then I had to get up for a breakfast meeting with Tom Kidd at 7. And literally, I was like this the whole day. I mean, I was like...
Because, this could be your new future.
Right,
and you're trying to...
And I was thinking, oh, please, God, don't let me just be so punchy. I just blow it and say something stupid at the interview with the faculty. And, it was a long day. After meetings with these very important people, like the then Provost Mira Kamarajao and the then Dean, when the schools were all configured differently.
Yeah, because that was before CAM was really
Yeah,
CAM, right?
yeah, it was still the College of Liberal Arts. And hell, I might even have it wrong. Mira might have been the dean at that time in provost. Hell, I don't know who the hell that was at that point in the game. Sorry, whoever you are, that I've forgotten who you are. Mira definitely did get promoted to provost in my time here.
So what? I know I'm a junior college. I shouldn't. What is
Yeah.
a provost?
A provost
I ain't got
is
a fucking
person-
clue. I know the dean. I don't even know what the fuck the dean means.
Well, okay. So deans make sure that our immediate needs are met as
Gotcha.
a college, right? Whatever financials that we need, whatever supplies.
So does
that
every
we need.
does the college of cinematography, do they have their own dean? Does the college theater have their own dean?
No, so this is the deal. Every one of the colleges inside the
College
College of Arts and Media, actually, let's try that again. Every school inside the College of Arts and Media has a director, and then the college has a dean, and the dean reports to the provost, and then the provost reports to the chancellor reports to the board of trustees.
Gotcha.
And that chain of command is what keeps certain faculty in line, gets certain faculty in here,
Gotcha.
make sure faculty get promoted.
So
with
is there only
equity.
one provost across the entire university, or?
Yes.
Oh,
Now there are various provosts over various areas, but there's just
gotcha.
one,
Okay.
yeah.
So dean, chancellor, provost, dean, director,
Yes.
faculty.
Yes.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yes. And so, anyways, back to
Back
our
to it,
story.
back to it. My bad, my bad.
No, it's quite all right. So, anyways, after all these meetings and teaching a class to students that were in the musical theater program and having an interview with the students and then having another interview with faculty and then taking off center just a little because the man who I was replacing, who was getting a nice little job back in his home state of Utah where he really wanted to be, he was in the room, and I wasn't used to candidates being in the room
With the person they're replacing.
with the person that they're replacing. I was like, oh gosh, because that didn't happen in any of the other interviews that I had.
And
for
it's
other
like, oh,
jobs.
sorry, I'm taking your job.
Right, really,
Yeah.
it was a little awkward.
Yeah.
And then there was dinner afterwards, and it was just a long day. And then I had to get up at 4 a.m. and go back to Springfield and walk commencement because that was commencement that day. And then
Really hit it right dab in the
Yes.
middle for
I know. So here's
Yeah.
where the story becomes a Darryl Clark story, if ever there was one. Well, I go
boy.
home and I wait. No phone call. And I'm like, shit. In the meantime, I turned down the job from Valdosta. I was just like, I just said, I can't string these people along anymore. I really cannot take this
Yeah.
job. And plus my sister, Evelyn, who was in a really nice position at Western Michigan U, she was like, you can't string those people along. And so I said, okay, fine. So I let them know that I wasn't interested in the position. And then again, waited. And the days between May 15th and May 20, whatever, was like so long.
because you just always
Because I
looking at
didn't know.
Yeah.
And so I had to go on with my life.
You're always looking at your phone. Trying
Yeah,
to, yeah.
and I'm thinking I've got to try to I've just got to act like I'm moving on,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I've got to wait and see what happens.
That reminds me of, so I don't know if were you ever an Xbox kid guy at all?
No,
Okay,
no,
cool.
no.
So there was this fun thing whenever you're a kid, you do, is whenever you're waiting for like a game to load,
Mm-hmm.
and you try to like gaslight the game, be like, I don't care how long you take,
Yeah.
I'm not paying attention, but
Yeah.
you're really like, come on,
Yeah,
come on,
no,
go.
there was none of that. I literally was on pins and needles, and so anywho, and I had a lot of people who were going to help me
Yeah.
with this move. It was getting a little tense. Well, be it as it were, life has a way of knocking on your door, and I remember a doctor's appointment. I had to go and get a colonoscopy of all things. So I go to my little appointment,
Yeah.
and I have my little procedure, and I leave my cell phone at the hospital,
Yeah.
and then I come back home, and then I sort of realized that somebody's trying to get in touch with me because I went online,
Yeah.
and it was Tom Kidd had sent me an email. Could you please contact me? And I was like, I certainly will.
Yeah.
I don't know where my phone is. So the woman who I called the woman who took me to the hospital for the procedure, and I said, I left my phone at the hospital. She's like, well, I'll go get it. I said, no, the hospital's just up the street. I'll just walk on. She's like, you're coming down off of whatever they give you to do that to you. So why don't you stay at home and
Yeah.
I will get your phone? And I was like, okay. So she goes and she gets my phone and she comes back and I make the phone call and they offer me the job.
Yeah.
And so that was like, I was thinking, what a hell of a way to get a
Yeah.
job. You're stoned out
Of
on
your
whatever
mind.
they give you
Yeah.
when you go in to get this invasive procedure.
A colonoscopy.
Wow.
Of
I
all
couldn't-
things, a colonoscopy.
Really, I couldn't
yeah.
be pooched somewhere on a beach chair looking at the ocean. No.
I'm
I have to
bent
be
on a
coming
bench.
really-
Yeah.
I'm coming down off of Wow Wow juice. So yeah.
Wow.
So yes, that
Yeah.
I don't know anybody else who ever like got offered a job the day that they were stoned on whatever it is,
Medical
Demerol,
drugs,
medical
yeah.
drugs. So yeah, so
Wow,
then,
juice, as they say.
so then I told my sister, who was truly excited because she got her PhD
Oh.
from SIU,
Oh,
and then I
cool.
told my friend Annette,
Yeah.
who got her BA in theater from SIU, and she was even more excited than me.
Oh.
She
Yeah.
screamed a scream like I was like literally like, I didn't
Yeah.
know your voice could project like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so and so then I started figuring out my life and what I would do in order to get my butt over here from
Yeah.
from Springfield. And so it happened. I mean, I didn't have a lot of time for touchdown time because I had a job teaching that summer at Blue Lake Arts Camp up in Michigan. So I went up there for like 4 weeks, and then I had another job teaching at a kind of like a dance intensive thing in West Plains, Missouri. And then it was like, come back, start doing your meetings, start doing all
Yeah.
your stuff, and yeah.
Kickstart the process. 'Cause It's
Yeah.
a long one. You gotta get yeah.
Yeah, it is. And it's like, and it's funny. It's like it took forever, and then it all sped up, and then it started to slow back down again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really kind of interesting how
And
that happened.
And I think the whole process of finding a college, it really more than just finding school. It's finding a place to live. Because I mean,
Yeah.
even for students, I think the renovations are going to help a ton. Because I mean, the theater program in the past 3 years, it has grown. The theater
Yeah.
at SIU.
Yeah,
And
Lord knows. Yeah.
yeah, and I mean, it really and so. And because it hasn't, because I know because I mean, SIU also as a whole every year has broken a record for the big, like has
Yeah.
broken in like 10 years, and then
Yeah.
because SIU is finally out of debt now, so
yeah.
we're finally
yeah.
cranking her back up. So
with all due respect to you higher administration, board of trustees and chancellors and whatnot, I don't want to hear Weeze Poe anymore. We have got to figure this
Yeah.
out, okay?
and I think they are taking steps. Like they're demolishing old Greek Row and going to build new housing now.
Oh, that's lovely.
They're finally giving.
I mean, that
the
means
the-
nothing to me, but that's lovely.
Yeah, but they're finally giving They took away the SIU theater money. Then they gave the student jobs right back.
See, it's little things like that. Yeah. So
I remember it was kind of like we led like a little mini revolution. We had all of us students write letters, and we kind of like led our own mini revolution.
well,
It worked,
Yeah.
so.
Be proud of yourselves that
Yeah.
you did that, because a lot of people would back down and be nervous, as we can see. But no, it's like sometimes you
Yeah.
have to like get out there and put yourself on the
Yeah.
line. I mean, that's one thing I definitely did learn when I got here, because I didn't expect
To have all the problems.
to have all the problems that we've
Yeah.
had. I really
Yeah.
did not. I don't think anything prepared me for that. As a matter of fact, I'll be honest. Leading up to this moment, these last 9 years, I was a little complacent about a lot of things. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And like I mean, I've only been at SIU theater, part of SIU theater for like about a few years now.
yeah,
But I genuinely do believe. I mean, obviously, anytime you get something new or you get progress in funding, there's obviously going to be steps back. And obviously,
Yeah.
I'm only a 20-year-old, so what
Yeah.
do I know? But I think that we are going in the right direction for
Yeah,
the theater
we
program.
are,
I
we
think
are.
this renovation is going to help a shit ton.
yeah, definitely.
Because I mean, at the end of the day, you could have you could be the best director in the world, but if your theater shit, if you're building shit, your program's shit. So I think it will really help a lot.
Yeah.
So
Well, okay. That I will.
That's
hold
my
you to
perspective
that.
of it,
Okay.
so.
Yes, I will. I will hold you to that in some small way.
Yeah.
Because maybe that is what is holding people back from coming to see stuff. They don't want to sit in the McLeod Theater, but it's going to be cute. It's
Yeah.
going to be really, really cute. The seats won't do funny
it won't be
things
so
to you.
fuck ass bitches, orange, blue, white,
And it
red
won't be those
seats.
colors that nobody can seem to get with. So it's gonna be fine. I mean, this is the other thing about the colors. You see them when you walk in, you see them when you sit down, but then the lights go down and you watch the show. So are you watching the show or are you looking at the seats?
I'm too busy realizing what is poking my ass while I'm
Okay.
sitting down in those seats.
Well, that's another thing too. Are you like trying to fend off unwanted advances from your seat? Or are you watching the show?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, everyone. We're going to take a break. Sponsor time. I got to do my contract obligation. But when we get back, we're going to touch down more into early Darryl. What Darryl grew up, what baby Darryl was like. So we'll be back.
Montage time. Go to effinggear.com. Get you a hat, jacket, some stickers. I missed. Stickers. Use discount code Nick Steinberger for 20% off.
I went to Buc-ee's. Here's how it went.
Nick goes to Buc-ee's. What a sight. Nick goes to Buc-ee's. Pure delight.
So about a week ago, I was on the phone with my friends, and one of them said how their friend went to Buc-ee's. I said, I've never been there. I've only dreamed about this place, this land, if you will. And so, called my girlfriend and said, hey, you want to go to Buc-ee's tomorrow at 6 a.m.?
Buy the merch.
Drive 3.5
Come
hours?
on.
Of course, she was hesitant, but I sealed the deal with getting her to watch How I Met Your Mother.
Buy the merch.
So it worked out perfectly.
Bye. Good morning.
My
We're in the car. It's
merch.
like 6:15 in the morning.
Buy the merch.
And it's raining. But let's do it. Woo!
Now, of course, I've only heard about Buc-ee's. I've never been to this land, if you will, the home of the buck. Buc-ee's. Do you see the connection here? It's crazy. I have no idea what I'm thinking. I've only heard of gas.
Montage time. Go to effinggear.com. Get you a hat, jacket, some stickers. I missed. Stickers. Use discount code Nick Steinberger for 20% off.
I went to Buc-ee's. Here's how it went.
Nick goes to Buc-ee's. What a sight. Nick goes to Buc-ee's. Pure delight.
So about a week ago, I was on the phone with my friends, and one of them said how their friend went to Buc-ee's. I said, I've never been there. I've only dreamed about this place, this land, if you will. And so, called my girlfriend and said, hey, you want to go to Buc-ee's tomorrow at 6 a.m.?
Buy the merch.
Drive 3.5
Come
hours?
on.
Of course, she was hesitant, but I sealed the deal with getting her to watch How I Met Your Mother.
Buy the merch.
So it worked out perfectly.
Bye. Good morning.
My
We're in the car. It's
merch.
like 6:15 in the morning.
Buy the merch.
And it's raining. But let's do it. Woo!
Now, of course, I've only heard about Buc-ee's. I've never been to this land, if you will, the home of the buck. Buc-ee's. Do you see the connection here? It's crazy. I have no idea what I'm thinking. I've only heard of gas.
Montage time. Go to effinggear.com. Get you a hat, jacket, some stickers. I missed. Stickers. Use discount code Nick Steinberger for 20% off.
I went to Buc-ee's. Here's how it went.
Nick goes to Buc-ee's. What a sight. Nick goes to Buc-ee's. Pure delight.
So about a week ago, I was on the phone with my friends, and one of them said how their friend went to Buc-ee's. I said, huh, I've never been there. I've only dreamed about this place, this land, if you will. And so,
Come on,
called my
you know you
girlfriend and
wanna
said,
buy
hey,
it.
you want to go to Buc-ee's tomorrow at 6
Just
a.m.?
buy the merch.
Drive 3.5
Come
hours?
on.
Of course, she was
Buy the merch.
hesitant, but I sealed the deal with
Buy it.
getting her to watch How I Met Your Mother.
Buy the merch.
So it worked out perfectly.
Buy
Good morning.
my
We're in the car. It's
merch.
like
Buy the merch.
6:15 in the morning.
Buy the merch.
And it's raining. But let's do it. Woo!
Now, of course, I've only heard about Buc-ee's. I've never been to this land, if you will, the home of the buck. Buc-ee's. Do you see the connection here? It's crazy. I have no idea what I'm thinking. I've only heard of gas.
Montage time. Go to effinggear.com. Get you a hat, jacket, some stickers. I missed. Stickers. Use discount code Nick Steinberger for 20% off.
I went to Buc-ee's. Here's how it went.
Nick goes to Buc-ee's. What a sight. Nick goes to
Come take a stroll with Nick down the road with storyboard in tales untold from the highs to the low. Getting tuned.
Getting to that.
We go, 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 cause he's your guy. He's by your side. Hidden topics that's worldwide. So let's take a ride and make some noise. By you.
All right, enough about that. You know, cut it right before you get to the theme song part. So, welcome back to Anything and Everything with Nick Steinberger, Season 2, Episode 7, featuring Darryl Clark, everyone. Run it back. I'm going to fix your mic again.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, that's much better.
So,
All right.
I don't know what happened in between break, but now my mouth's like dry. I don't know if it's a part of seeing you have water and me not. I don't know what if that's it, but I'm a little parched. Now
Okay,
I'll be
well,
fine. I'll be
yeah.
fine. I'm good. So, going into, because we just talked about you working through COVID, getting to being a professor at SAU. How did we get there? how did you discover theater? Like, what was Baby Darryl like? Was he a trains guy? Did he like cars? What did he like?
Okay, so first of all, I was not a kid who grew up in Illinois. I mean, I did, but I wasn't born here in Illinois. I was born in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Gotcha.
And so I think that always puts a certain stamp on you, because once I started to really grow up after 6 and up to 32, that was Chicago. And actually, no, it wasn't 32, it was 38. Shouldn't flatter myself like that. But yeah, it's like I was a big city person, but I always had a little bit of a small city mentality. Yeah. So I've always wondered why, especially.
Hold on,
being
pause
here.
1 second.
Sure.
I'm so sorry. There's a technical difficulty. The fan's blowing. I'll be right back. Darryl, entertain the crowd.
Okay, so anyway, I could just go on with the story.
I mean, you could. That's very true.
Okay, yes, while he's jumping up and moving things around. So yeah, I always had a little bit of a connection to being in a small town, which is really wild, because whenever I was in smaller towns, when I was touring, whatever, there was always like a little bit of a culture shock. And I hate to say it, but when I landed here, population 25,000, there was a huge culture shock. And it was so funny because people kept telling me, just take time to get used to this environment. And I'm like, there's really nothing to get used to. My house is here, the campus is there, the mall is over there. I'm used to it. Let's get on with it. Let's do the work. So anyways, I digress. I was shy.
Were you?
Yeah, I was very, very shy.
Man, you changed.
No, but I was extremely shy.
Yeah.
Very, very much sensing things out. The family structure was that so that I stayed with my grandma and my uncles and my aunt in Grand Rapids for a little while my mother went to Chicago to fend for us, to make sure she laid out a life, got a good job, et cetera, et cetera. So I was pretty much living my life thinking that my uncles and my aunt were like my big brothers and my big sister. Yeah. So there was always that little thing to deal with. It wasn't as bad as, for those of you who may know the story of Bobby Darin, of being told one day, yes, that woman, she's not your big sister, she's your mother. It wasn't that bad. I knew who my mother was, but it just seemed that it was like a little bit more whatever it was, because I still don't. I don't call my uncles Uncle Johnny. I call him by his first name, you know? Yeah. So anywho, I was transplanted from Grand Rapids, Michigan, after going through a little bit of time at Head Start, where not only was I shy, I was very nerdy, believe it or not.
Were you?
Yes, I was.
Well, about what?
I like to have my head stuck in a book all the time.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Book nerd.
Yeah, very much a book nerd. And also very visually oriented. Like, books with pictures really had my attention.
Gotcha.
But like stories, anything with words, really, really captured my imagination. And so I did like maybe a semester of kindergarten, and my grandmother had to fight tooth and nail to not have me advance a year and put in first grade, because she just didn't want that for me, because it would have like probably thrown me so way off kilter. But my mother found a very interesting learning environment for me in Chicago, actually a suburb of Chicago called Evanston. It was Royce Moore School, a progressive private school with lots of individualized learning plans for kids. And that was something that worked for me. At least it worked for me for 7 years. By the end of 7th grade, it was like, you're out of there because it's not working for you anymore. You need to go somewhere else. And so I was transferred into a much more restrictive learning environment at a Lutheran school for a year. And then I went to high school in Evanston. I think that before the performing arts bug bit me really bad, my freshman year of high school, the first thing I discovered that I loved was the idea of being in university. I thought that was really neat. I thought it was so cool. My Uncle Ricky would take me with him to his art class at Grand Valley State, and I would take his notes for him because he didn't care. He didn't care about no damn art. And I'd be just like, oh, this is like this Venetian art, and this is like Cretan art, and this is, you know, the Greeks.
Did you ever help him with a test?
I tried. I wouldn't take his test for him. But everybody was sitting in that class in that lecture hall was like, who's this little Nimrod here taking the notes? I mean, I was only 10 years old. Yeah. But see, this is the thing that we did. on the way out to Allendale, which is where the campus was, we'd ride, but then we'd come back in towards Grand Rapids because this was a summer thing. And he put the top down on his convertible, and he'd play Richard Pryor. And sometimes he would take me to the A&W root beer stand after his class. So there was all kinds of incentives for going and taking those notes, let me tell you. And
let this little 10-year-old tell you why he's taking the notes.
So part of it was the being around and learning about like Da Vinci.
But also the A&W root beer.
Yeah, but A&W root beer and Richard Pryor, man. So if anybody ever wonders where I get my filthy mouth from, it's probably that. I mean, there were other things too. Like I'll tell it as short as I possibly can. When I was 8 years old, my mother had decided that she was going to take me to the Auditorium Theater, and we were going to see Swan Lake. And we sat down in the Auditorium Theater in Chicago, which is probably one of the oldest theaters in Chicago. Big, beautiful thing. Sat way up in the mezzanine seats, and we didn't see a ballet company perform. We actually saw a film of maybe the Bolshoi, perhaps, dancing Swan Lake. And after we walked out of there, we walked to the car. I'm sure we were parked in what is now like a... It's a Planet Fitness now is what it is. It's at the corner of what is now Ida B. Wells Drive and State Street. It was a garage at one time.
Gotcha.
So we go and we get the car. And on the way to the car, she goes, well, I've given you culture. If you want any more, you have to get it yourself. Now, that was 1972, and it is now 2025. And that is always lived in my head.
Yeah.
And so, therefore, I will go get it myself.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I discovered music. I drove her crazy playing the recorder around the house. Then she got me a clarinet, and I drove her crazy playing the clarinet. Then in our little band at Royce Moore, I got into this whole thing of like asking my classmates, can I borrow your trombone for the weekend? I just want to play it. Can I borrow your French horn for the weekend? I just want to play it. You can borrow my clarinet. And then my friend Julia Pantoga, she played oboe. And I was like, Julie, let me borrow your oboe for the weekend. I want to play it. She's like, my mom is not going to let you take my oboe home. I didn't realize oboes are very, very expensive and very, very temperamental instruments. But yeah, it's like I was fascinated by all these instruments and how things fit together. And when I was in 5th grade, I had a fabulous music teacher by the name of Evelyn Ponsall. She was just amazing. She was kind of like, she was kind of like Shirley Jones in The Music Man. Like she had that blonde hair, and she could sing like Shirley Jones, and then she could sit down and play this piano. So yeah, she was totally like our Marion Peru at Royce Moore. Yeah, and then the musical thing, I had tastes of it because of two things. We had the Carol Burnett show on Wednesday nights, but then Saturday nights. And that was like all of the fucking up that CBS is doing. Back in the 70s, they were the bizarre, okay?
Because isn't that when PBS plays shows, like theater?
No, not PBS, CBS.
Oh, CBS. I thought you said PBS.
No.
Because I know PBS plays a show once a week.
But okay, so PBS is another whole thing altogether, and I really became aware of them when I was in high school more than when I was in grade school. So anyways, but there was also Zoom, and Zoom was PBS. And we didn't get a really good pickup on PBS where we lived on the north side of Chicago, so I couldn't always watch Zoom. But when I could watch it, and when I could watch that in the Electric Company, I realize now, hindsight is 2020, watching the Electric Company and watching all these New York-based actors like Rita Moreno and Morgan Freeman and the kids who were members of that kid band, The Short Circus, they were all in shows like The Me Nobody Knows and whatnot. These were my first Broadway performers that I was taking in, watching this TV show. And then Zoom, I mean, hell, every 10-year-old wanted to be on Zoom. I mean, we all wanted to go live in Boston.
Yeah, me too.
And shut up. And be like 02134. We were all about the Zoom.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that was it. And then I think for once and for all, when I was 13 years old, CBS again. See, CBS, y'all used to have it together, but now you're fucking up. Anyways, they showed That's Entertainment, and that night, God, I went out of my head. I didn't and don't see anything that goes along with like how you're supposed to view stuff now. Yeah. Now in this moment that we live in, all I saw was this incredible dancing and singing. I just was blown to smithereens. My head popped off my body.
It's like in Ratatouille when Remy like tastes flavor for the first time. All the things start foaming.
Yeah, and it's like, and I didn't have the Disney thing because Disney wasn't really doing what it was doing by the time we got to the end of the 80s and the 90s. They were doing like a lot of live action films, which were cute, like, you know, Freaky Friday with Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
That was cute. And Witch Mountain movies.
Disney Channel just...
Yeah. No, but well, that was another thing. That was another phenomenon with like cable going into everybody's homes. Because cable wasn't really a thing in Chicago. We didn't get cable until the 1980s.
Oh.
Yeah. And we get something really crazy called subscription television. So you get like a little bit of live performances. You maybe like a calendar of movies. There's another thing that was like that in California called the Z Channel, where you subscribed to it and you got to watch these really crazy, outlandishly wild programming things that they would put together for a month of programming. It was like having a film festival in your house. But anyways, when PBS would start doing things like great performances in Dance in America, and they would show like full-length operas or full-length ballets or documentaries about dance figures from the beginning of modern dance, or you know, A Night with Alvin Ailey, American Dance Theater. I mean, that was another thing that really turned me onto this thing. And then it wasn't so much my freshman year in high school, it was my sophomore year in high school. I was having my issues, and I got into the all-black theater company in our high school. And the woman who ran the company was a real stickler about grades, and mine were shit. I'm sure some of you can relate. And I snatched my shit together so I could be in shows. And I got to do this thing called Indignation Dinner. She created what she called her own choreo poem, where we all did some kind of poem, and it was something written by an African-American poet. And then we did a scene that took place in the church. And then there was a most amazingly talented young woman named Carrie Cotton, was kind of like our Viola Davis. She could cry on cue. And so she did this dramatic extempore monologue about how her brother died from taking PCP. And then it's just cuckoo for Go-Go Puffs. And then there was a little dance number. And then we did like a church ring shout circle. And that was like this thing. Kings and queens, we shall be black as beautiful for the world to see. That was it. It was like a long ass title. And I got to do the longest poem, which was called Indignation Dinner. No, I will not honor you with it. But I will tell you, it was juicy, and I will not
honor you with
it. You don't get to see it today or this evening, but you know, maybe, you know. Anywho,
it'll be for dance class next semester.
Right, you know, I'll talk about Rufus Green. So now I'm gonna have to hear that for a whole year. Darryl, what about Rufus Green? It's like you're just gonna have to hold on, possess yourself.
I'm gonna text our theater group chat, guys.
Stop. So anyhow, that. Going into junior year, I started taking theater classes in school, and I started taking dance classes in school. Now, this is when you know that you're meant to do what it is that you're meant to do without talking about who I was or my identity back then.
Yeah.
The dance studio at Evanston Township High School, in order to access it, you had to walk through an entrance that would either take you up to the dance studio, or if you kept walking through this entrance, it would take you into the girls' locker room. So boys would see me walking through that door and think I was walking into the girls' locker room. So my ass was dirt, but I still walked my ass up those stairs every afternoon at 1:30.
Yeah.
And put on my blue tights with the dance belt underneath them and my blue leotard and took those dance classes. So the moral of the story is, if you want to dance, you dance. And also, if your teacher tells you that you're going to dress like a dancer, then you're going to dress like a dancer. Just warning you now.
I feel like I'm getting called out here.
I think all the fellas in the program. That's how you were getting kind of called out right now.
My favorite memory relating to that was my freshman year. And me and Seth were in your dance class, and it was Gage too, but Gage always was on time.
Yeah, he knew what to do. Yeah,
I mean, we wouldn't do it. And I remember we were like halfway through dance class, and I was on the lines of you going, "Nick, where the fuck are your tights?" or something like that. It was on the lines of that, and it scared everyone shitless out of me too.
Yes, the other thing I don't brook is yawning. Please come dressed properly and don't yawn in my face.
If someone yawns, I remember whenever we, like, the five of us BFAs, and now I'm a BA, but whenever we were all five BFAs, I remember we would be in dance class and one of us is yawning and we go.
Yeah,
We
I
pull
mean,
that
it's
move.
like I understand. I have tried so hard with the curriculum to try to fix that so y'all don't have to take 2 classes back to back.
Yeah.
And I don't think
Because it's just the freshmen. You don't
yeah,
take
it's just
two
the freshman.
back,
After
yeah.
that, you don't have to do it again. And again, it's like actually, I think that if I had my druthers, you'd be in class just a tad more. Once you get past juries, you'd be in class a little bit more. Because I mean, you have the benefit of now having 1.5 dance teachers. It's like if Matt taught one more dance class, that would be like 2 dance teachers, and
Yeah.
you should be in class more often. Anywho,
Run it back to junior.
yes, go back to that.
Blue
and so-
tights.
blue tights, blue leotard, tank style, dance
Yeah.
world underneath.
Yeah.
Yes, and I stood up there at that bar and I took those classes, and sometimes boys would sneak up and stare at me, which I hated. But that only tested my convictions. And now I'm going to get personal for a second as far as like that kind of stuff is concerned. I think that some of the y'all who are listening have the benefit of having parents that are supportive of what you do and are there at every performance and bring you flowers and everything like that. Well, by the time I hit high school, I was a single parent child, and I was one of 3 kids. I have 2 younger brothers. And there was very little emotional support for anything I did. So I was kind of like sneaking out of the house to do stuff. And my 2 besties would help me learn lines and stuff and watch me do my choreography. I mean, if there's anything corny about the song or anything true about the corny song, The Wind Beneath My Wings, it's my 2 friends in Chicago who would sit and watch me run my choreography. Now, could they dance? No. They were like, you're not doing that right. Now, how the fuck they knew? I don't know.
Now, how the fuck you know that?
Right, but they would always make sure that I was snatched
Yeah.
as far as anything that I had to do on a stage. And so that came from those friends. It did not come from the parental unit. And it was a thing where we spent years, actually, as I kept ramping up this career, figuring out who this career belonged to.
Yeah.
And it's a real shame because it's like it should be the first way, but it was the second way. So I did it in spite of. I fought for it in spite of the fact that I wasn't getting the support. Plus, it doesn't really matter now, so I can cop to it now. I went to school in Evanston, but I grew up on the north side of Chicago, and that's a no-no. You're supposed to not go to a school where you don't have an address. And I had a great aunt who lived like about a block away from Evanston Township High School, so we just used her address for those 4 years. Again, people who are administrators in the Evanston school system, find me, kick my ass for this. I'm sorry. My mother wanted me to get an education more than she wanted to play by that rule.
Yeah, I think that's how it is for a lot of schools.
I'm
A lot of
sure.
school, like I know for like Frankfurt, if you didn't live in Frankfurt, you're not supposed to go to Frankfurt. You're supposed to go to the school district you live in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but it's like, it's like that means a great big drop off in resources or a facility or things that don't get offered to you that you need or want.
Yeah.
So here I was getting all these things, taking advantage of all these things, but technically not supposed to be taking advantage of them. But anyways, I told this story to somebody how like my junior year, we were rehearsing My Fair Lady, and I was one of the men who sang Wouldn't It Be Lovely with Eliza in Act 1. And we had rehearsal after school, and then we were supposed to do this performance on the north side of Evanston at a church of Schubert's Mass and G. And to this very day, the CTA gods must have been all up on my side because I went home back to my house on the north side of Chicago, did whatever I was supposed to do as an older brother, which some of those responsibilities, I'm sorry, I was not a good older brother. I just was like a little bit too much into my own world. And then I got back on that train and got my butt back up there. Somebody had my robe and I sang that performance. I don't know how I did all that shit in one night, but I did it. Yeah. And and that's kind of like a testament to the to what it became. Yeah, it's like and it didn't really. And I wasn't even thinking about like I'm not getting this kind of recognition or that. I was just getting the opportunity to be able to do it, you know. One other thing that happened my junior year on the same show, My Fair Lady, the woman who taught our dance classes at the school and choreographed our show. Her name was Beverly Williams. Wherever she is, I owe her such a debt of gratitude because there were so many times where she turned around and said to me, you have talent and you're a guy, but you're going to work for this.
Yeah.
And she made that very clear to me. She wasn't mean about it. She just said, you're going to work for this. And she instilled a sense of heritage in me about dancers whose shoulders I was coming up on. So becoming versed about dance history and becoming respectful of what it takes to be a dancer, I owe it all to her. But anyway,
because it's like you got penis points, but you need to.
You gotta. It's like you
gotta
put
work
the
for
work
it.
in.
Yeah.
So she choreographed the waltz and she choreographed the big Act 2 dance number, but she didn't choreograph this one little number, which was a reprise of With a Little Bit of Luck, and she didn't choreograph Wouldn't It Be Loverly. And so I shyly, meekly asked if I could. And I went on ahead and I did it. Now, the man who ran theater at that time at that high school, let's say that he was not really there for this effort. And he didn't see the dance until our tech day. So we were teching and we did the dance. And me and this other girl, another one, shout out Helen Crowley. Hey,
Helen.
We did this dance and we were just spirited and we ran off the stage with our great big exit. And then because I probably had no food to eat, I think I sort of passed out in the wings and then had to be kind of revived. And after it was over, we got some kind of break. I was like, did you like it? Did you like it? And he goes, he's such a bastard, old fucking bastard for this. He goes, no, it was terrible. It's like, fuck, man. It's like so much for me wanting to be the next Alvin Ailey. And so, it's like, it was like, oh, well, you stick with me, kid, and you'll find out. But yeah, it's like, it was little reminders of that. It's like work.
Yeah.
You have to work. And you really actually also, as I sit here now, those are the kinds of things you also have to like derive your own merit. Not to blow your own horn, but derive your own merit. Because Helen and I knew that we had done something really good. And we definitely did it in a collaborative fashion because neither one of us knew about what we were doing.
Gotcha.
And we didn't have things like YouTube to draw from. And so, therefore, we had to come up with whatever was in our bodies from the dance classes that we were taking from Miss Williams. And so we did it. We got it. We got a little bumper out of this, and we were very, very pleased with ourselves. And I think that we remained pleased with ourselves. Another thing that we got that I don't think any high school that I've come in contact with from that is performing with a huge orchestra. The ETHS orchestra was huge. I mean, it was a very strong music wing. A lot of our student teachers and professors went to Northwestern or came from Northwestern.
Gotcha.
Jeez, it just going to that high school was really seriously no joke. It was a great place to start this whole thing, and so that's where it started. I had to say that I sort of lost my way by the end of my senior year. Again, was not a great student, and all of my friends had said, well, we're going to Stanford and we're going to Washington University in St. Louis.
My papa does a role.
And everybody's, well, Darryl, where are you going? Well, I knew I was going to do a community theater production of Brigadoon in Wilmette. But after that was over, I didn't know what the hell I was doing with my life. And
because I mean, that's how it is for a lot of people when you do theater shows. Like, okay, I don't like for like a lot of performers. It's like, okay, I don't have a 9-to-5 job. It's
right.
Audition, cool. Next show. Audition, cool. Next show.
But yeah, and it's like it was a neat experience because it was a community theater, but it was a very well received, well supported community theater, and it was also in a very moneyed part of the suburbs of Cook County.
Gotcha.
And the performance space, oh my God, it was a shell outside right by Lake Michigan.
Oh.
So, okay, Brigadoon is the show that it is for whatever reasons, but at night when the sun went down, and the second act pretty much takes place at night. So
it's really cool. Yeah.
It was really a one for the books.
Isn't Brigadoon the one where, like, once it becomes nighttime, they sleep for like 60 years?
Yeah, basically. They sleep for 100 years and wake up. To them, it's the next day, but for the rest
Everyone
of the world,
else,
it's 100 years later. And two men get trapped back in that time warp with them when they wake up.
And one falls in love, the other one's like, I'm leaving by. Yeah.
He falls in lust, and he has a good time with a girl named Meg. But anyways.
Hey, Meg.
Be it as it were, it was a magical experience.
Yeah.
The director was really good. The choreographer was really good. Sadly, she didn't get a great review for the work that she did, and we all again wanted to write letters to the Evanston Review saying, "You can't talk about our choreographer like that.
Yeah.
She's wonderful. She's a saber room dancer. You can't talk about her like that." Well, yeah, okay, that didn't go very far. But anywho, the woman who played Fiona and the guy who played Tommy, they were union actors, and the woman who played Meg, she was also a union actor, and she actually was doing that thing. She was kind of like a mother hen to us, like 17-year-olds who were in the ensemble. She dropped us at train stations and stuff. But here's the killer. She had a job. She would get up and go into the Loop and work at a law firm or something from 8 to 5, and then snatch yourself together and go to Wilmette and do those rehearsals. Yeah. And then get some of us back to the train so we could get home because, my poor ass barely had bus fare. I mean, if it was some nights, it would have been a thing to basically get dropped at a train station and have to walk back to my house. I mean, it was just like that. So, yeah. And then it was after having had this really big high, and then my mother came to see me dancing in the show, and it was really kind of crazy. She, again, didn't say anything, just kind of said, "Oh, I'm doing this thing, and this is where it is," and blah, 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 and she came to see it. But then it's she would trot me out like some show pony every time a friend would come over and be like, "My baby was on stage doing this Scottish sword dance. Baby, come do the sword dance." And they're like, "Yes, mother." And I would get up from wherever I was doing, which was probably watching Soul Train or just not wanting to be bothered, and would get up and do the sword dance in the middle of the living room or whatever. Yeah. So it was that. But after all that was over and done with, I was hanging out with this friend of mine, and we were at his friend's house, and this was on the south side of Evanston, and we were listening to Ken Nordine and smoking clove cigarettes and trying to be so cool. Yeah. And he asked me what I was going to do with my life, and I said, "I really don't know." And he told me about Columbia College, and he told me about the fact that Columbia College has open admissions. And in a way, none of this meant anything to me, but I was like, well, all right. And then I got invited to this to this party on the north side of Chicago, and I got to hang out with some people who went to Evanston Township High, who'd graduated and gone on to college and whatever. And one young woman in particular, her name is Jenny Sohn. She was, she'd done a year at Bennington, but decided that wasn't for her. She came back and auditioned for Mordine and Company and got picked to be an apprentice, and that was 1981. We talked briefly, and she's like, "Well, you should come and check Columbia College out." So it was between Michael, my friend, and Jenny. I just went down to the main building on Michigan Avenue, walked up to admissions, got an application, took it, filled it out, gave it back to them, thinking, okay, it's weird enough I didn't have to pay some application fee, but I'll roll with it. But I handed it back to the woman behind the desk, and she said, "Welcome to Columbia College. Here's a financial aid form. Go home, fill this out, get your mom to sign it." And I'm like,
wait, hold on, run it back.
Wait a minute. Everybody else had to write essays and cried boo-hoo.
So is that what open admission is? If you apply, you're in no matter what?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so that changed my life. I've got that catalog of courses that you could take, and I couldn't believe that there were all these things that a person could take, like a dance history class. Oh my God, I thought I was going to die and go to heaven just from the fact that there was a class. So I picked 14 hours of stuff to do: technique, ballet, theory and improvisation, dance history with the most incredible historian in dance ever, Ann Barzell, amazing historian and critic, and a part of the spine of dance in Chicago. And walked up to the registration table. I remember these two people just being like, "Well, you seem to know what you want. Come on,"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Do I really know what I want?"
I'm just taking what I like.
But I'm just gonna roll with this.
Yeah.
But then it the story in the Steve Martin movie, having to walk through all kinds of shit to get to your first class. That's what I did. Yeah. That first day of classes. Oh, the other cool thing about Columbia College, amongst many other things, most colleges start in August, right? With their fall semester. Our fall semester at Columbia didn't start until somewhere near the end of September. Some days it didn't even start. Some years it didn't even start until the first week of October.
Oh shit!
I know. So, anyways,
did it still end on December?
Yeah, it ended for Christmas, and then we came back for 3 more weeks, and then the spring semester went until June. So that was the trade-off. Anyways, we I walked like 45 minutes to my first dance class. It was modern technique, 9 o'clock in the morning. And then after that, I had ballet. And then after that, I had like a 4-hour break, and I had theory and improv. And at
At
the
least
end
your
of that
legs were
day,
warmed up.
oh, I trudged home through the uptown neighborhood of Chicago, and I was oblivious to my surroundings. I had found my calling. That was it. I couldn't wait until Tuesday. Tuesday was the same thing. 9 o'clock technique class with Shirley Mordine. I was hoping okay. But 9 o'clock class with Shirley Mordine.
So it really was just like, oh shit,
yeah,
this is what I want.
This was it. It was like it was unshakable. It's like there was nothing that was going to keep me away from that big cavernous building on Sheridan Road. It was like home away from home. It's like all the corny homilies you hear about people finding themselves.
That was it.
Yeah. It's like every lyric you hear in.
They're true. Yeah.
I think I just turned myself off.
Nope, you're on.
Okay, well, anyways,
are you
I
unplugged?
can't hear myself. Yeah.
So this little chord right here, push it up.
Okay. All right, so, but every corny little lyric you hear in all the songs of a chorus line, all that happened.
Yeah. So it really was like wow.
Yeah.
It's like you tip your toe and water. That's, for me, I don't know if I had a moment where it was like instant, oh, whoa, like that. But I think at least for me, I don't know about other theater kids or adult. I'm an adult. I'm a theater adult. I'm 20 years old. But I think for me, it was like doing community theater, like just tipping my toe in and then doing like 12 shows nonstop.
Yeah.
I think that's the way for a lot of jobs. Like if you're around a friend group for a long time, you become that friend group. You become.
That can be true for many people, but again, I don't know if that existed in Chicago while I was growing up. I'm going to say that it did, just because of the way communities do work.
Yeah.
And there was a really cool community theater that was based out of one of the park districts, but they played their shows at a theater on the lake at the Fullerton Outer Drive exit. It was called Theater by the Lake or Theater on the Lake. And I thought that was really great. But I never participated. Like, I don't remember anybody saying we need kids to be in the show or anything like that. No, that never happened.
You just remember being there?
Yeah, no. And I didn't hang out at park districts. And the one time that I would have woven into that community theater world before the one community theater show I did my senior year, it was a group at the YMCA called Brilliant Teen. Isn't that corny as hell?
Brilliant Teen.
And they were doing a production of a show that I still would like to circle back around to now as a choreographer or a director choreographer called Of Thee I Sing. And I auditioned for it and got called back for the dancing role. I knew enough to know that role had been originated by somebody who none of your listeners will know, by the name of George Murphy. All I can say is that he was a well-known dancer, actor of his time in the 1930s, and he was one of those people who was like terribly conservative and made life hard for a lot of people during the Red Scare at the end of the 1940s. Anywho, I knew that role was associated with him, and so I knew that was something that I should probably go after because of my aptitudes that I was showing, and I almost got cast in that part. The thing that kept me from getting cast in that part was that pesky thing of living on the north side of Chicago. Yeah, so I missed the phone call that would have told me come to callbacks on Sunday afternoon. And I couldn't tell anybody why I missed that phone call, but the part just kind of went. Yeah. And so that's why that didn't happen that way. So that was an off to the side kind of a thing. It never happened again. It was something I didn't seek out. And if it wasn't happening in high school, then it didn't happen at all for me. And we had a tradition at Evanston Township, sadly, that alternate years they would do a show that was really big, and then they would do a show that was very small. Does this sound familiar?
That sounds very, I was like, wait a minute, hang on.
In our senior year, they decided to do Fantastics, which is only as like a cast of 6, and they decided to cast all the adult roles with faculty members, so the only roles to be played by teenagers were the 2 lovers in the show.
When you were saying that, I was like, wait a minute, hang on.
Yeah.
We small show fall semester, big show spring semester.
Along those lines, yeah. But it was like every other year. So if you weren't really up there in that upper echelon, you were shit out of luck. And the sad thing about it was the year after I graduated from high school, they did another big show, another show that I would eventually come around to as a choreographer, Wonderful Town. And I just was like, and the ironic thing about that is that same bastard who yelled at me about the choreography not being good enough in My Fair Lady for the little number that Helen and I choreographed. He picked Wonderful Town. He directed it, and I was like harping like crazy on him.
Yeah.
Let's do Wonderful Town next year. Let's do Wonderful Town.
And then the year after you leave, he
yeah,
picks it.
exactly. Yeah,
it's like the stereotype on as soon as you graduate, that's when your school starts to renovate stuff.
Starts to do all kinds of really interesting, nifty things. But
so before we end it, what advice would the Darryl middle name unknown Clark
Kent.
Kent. Darryl Kent Clark.
Yes.
DKC, all right.
Uh-huh.
What would DKC like to tell possible incoming students, possible theater people, possible people who are discovering this or wanting to make it their life? Here's a short segment. You take it away.
Oh boy. So it's like this is when I should like whip out my
Professor voice.
No, my yarn and my hook and just start to like crochet.
Yeah.
And all the
Get the rocking chair
wisdoms
going.
will come out, and it's like, and I think that if anybody's been paying attention to the stuff that I've been saying about how I wound up in this chair in Carbondale, Illinois, I think that they're already there. First of all, you know when this is it for you. That's and you never have to question it. It never ever gets questioned. And yes, you also know from anybody that has talked about their lives that you will have highs and you will have lows. You will have moments where you can hardly make your ends meet and you're asking for hope, and you must be very grateful, hope or help, and you must be very grateful for the help that will get extended to you, because sometimes the help just simply isn't there. I think you have to put praise in perspective so that it's like it feels really good, but just know that when you wake up tomorrow morning, that's not going to be there.
Yeah.
And also when you do something and it's always just right that night, don't expect to replicate it the next night because it's not going to go that way. And don't try to do what you think you did in order to get things right, because you'll do something really crazy. Like you'll say you really will say the wrong line at the wrong time. I think every performer has suffered that. Or do the wrong step, or start thinking
Going
about
into
something.
auto-drive.
Yeah, or miss an entrance, or drop something that you've never dropped before. So
Max.
yes, so you have to stay true somehow to yourself, and always protect like a small part of yourself, so that you can always have something to call on when you need a little bit of inner strength. And if you're going to do this thing as far as university is concerned, for heaven's sakes, whatever you do, please go to class, go to class, go to class, go to class, go to class. Because sometimes there's nothing worse than doing a victory lap when you don't want to do one. Again, I speak from personal experience. You want to go to class. And also, the other thing is that...
Feel called out again.
Yeah, well, but it's simply this. It's like, you're paying a lot of money in tuition at this point in the game. And if you don't go, you still have to pay the tuition. So you need to go. Yeah. That's a very like common sense kind of a thing. But also it's like your going is you're taking care of yourself and making yourself accountable for anything good that you're going to do, or anything that you didn't do so well, and you need to find a way to fix it. So you have to be able to be accountable, and showing up is part of being accountable. So there are 1,000 things, and all of what I've just said has 1,000 subdivisions and facets to it, but that's basically what I would say to anybody. One other thing that I would love to say is I want to start the thing, generally speaking, of referring to our humble little school as the School of Theater and Dance.
Isn't that what we already call it?
Sometimes people slip up. And the other thing I have to also square with everybody is that we're trying really hard to get paperwork and everything done so that students who are interested in doing it can get certified in dance and receive a certification in dance from our university. In time, you may see it happen. You may see it happen after I'm gone, and you might hear about it in alumni news. Some new chancellor will be crowing about it. There may be there may be even a fully, I doubt seriously there'll be a full program, because freestanding dance programs, well, I don't know. But as far as being combined and being able to say that you do all these things, that's just a matter of time. And it's also a matter of having like one or two more good studios to dance in, and one or two more teachers who are here full time teaching nothing but dance, and they're not teaching dance and automotive repair or
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
So yeah, they have to be fully devoted to the art form instead of like all over.
Yeah. Automotive repair. We have
Where the hell?
we're in the top 3 automotive programs in the entire world. And I don't think they're focusing on theater too.
Oh yeah. Okay. So yeah, we really don't
dance
want to do that.
and voice. So that's a better one.
Well, yeah, there is that, but it's like it feels like you get a little too spread out because you have like these aptitudes to do other things. No, it's like to be in this and to be serving this
100%,
area. Yeah, it's totally got to happen. So,
Well, I want to thank everyone for coming on. First off, I have to give my shout out to Max. Max, give a woohoo. There's Max right there. Give him a little clap, everyone. He doesn't get the soundboard button, but just he applauds. Don't worry. So I want to thank everyone for watching. Thank you, Darryl, for coming on. I appreciate it.
well, thank you for having me. This was like really live and truly live. And I'm hoping to be able to do the same thing for myself one of these days, where I'll be able to talk into a microphone and interview you.
Oh.
And smack the mic.
And smack the mic. We'll get a mic smack counter. Don't worry. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Max Kimmerman, thank you very much. Thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate it all. I don't know what song I'm gonna play for the exit, so while I figure that out, give me 1 second. Yeah, we're gonna milkshake.